Hi, I'm Chuck Gibson. This is Loveland Beacon Talks Special Little League Loveland 13U All-Stars State Championship Edition. Joining me today is head coach Scott Carr along with three of his players, and we're going to get right to it so Scott can introduce us to the three stars of the game for our now state champion Loveland Little League 13U All-Stars. Well, welcome back again, Coach Scott Carr, to LB Talks, the special. At this point, I'm not even going to call it the special sports edition. This is the Loveland Little League 13U All-Stars and now state champions edition of Loveland Beacon Talks. So welcome once again to the show, and I understand you got a couple of your players with you. So who's with us today?
Well, I'll tell you what, Chuck, that introduction, that really sounded good. To hear somebody else say state champs, that's pretty awesome. So thank you for that intro. And I am joined today by three of the stars during yesterday's championship game versus Ironton. Our starting pitcher, Tate Medinger, our starting shortstop, Matt Hamilton, and our starting right fielder, Brady Carr.
Okay, well, hey, I'm going to start like we have in the past, Coach. Let you recap a little bit of what turned out to be that championship win against Ironton on Monday. So take us through how that went, because I know that was a close one.
It was arguably one of the best Little League baseball games I've been a part of, not just because we came out on top. It was a nail-biter until the bottom of the seventh. Ironton made the decision in the game prior to save their best pitcher, which was a risk that turned out working out well for them. They were losing 7-4 in the sixth inning to Ashtabula, with their best pitcher not even having the opportunity to take the mound yet. Ironton pulled it out, ended up winning big in the seventh inning as Ashtabula, the wheels started to fall off, if you will. So I went to the coin flip. The Ironton coach looked at me and said, "Man, I almost made the biggest coaching mistake of my Little League career by saving our top pitcher for this one." So we knew we were getting their best. And once again, Chuck, I lost the coin flip, but it turned out to be a good sign for us. So
I was going to say, perfect. I knew you were trying to lose that coin toss.
These guys wanted to be the home team in the worst way at least one of these games in the tournament, but we ended up being the visitors again. And as I said, their ace was on the mound from Ironton. Just a terrific pitcher. I would say if he wasn't the best pitcher we saw all season, he was one of the top two. We knew we were in for a battle. So through the first two innings, it was 0-0. And then in the top of the third, Matt Hamilton took things over for us.
Well, you know what? Matt's sitting there right now with you, so I'm going to let Matt pick it up. So, Hammy, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. And tell me what happened. Now, so this was the third inning, is that correct?
Yes. So I was up to bat and feeling pretty confident, and it was a 2-3 count, hit it opposite field, and then they started fumbling on the ball, and I just didn't stop running the bases, and Coach Scott didn't really tell me to go home, but I kind of made the decision of going home.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I think it shouldn't be Hammy. It might be Ellie Hamilton.
Ellie De La Cruz, exactly. There may or may not have been a stop sign coming from the third base coach, but Matt made me look really good on that one, Chuck.
I love it. So Hammy, I have not seen you guys play yet. So obviously you're batting right-handed. You got the 3-ball, 2-strike count, and you punch it to right field, and the guy kicks it around a little bit. As you rounded first base, what were you thinking?
Kind of thinking he was coming up to throw it, and Coach Chris, our other first baseman coach, was waving me over, so I kind of thought he dropped it or something like that.
Right.
And Coach Scott kept waving me on.
Yeah, so ultimately you're being waved all the way to third, and then now you're telling me that you made the decision to keep on going through third base and head for home. So what's in your mind then? Because obviously it's a 0-0 game. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it was pretty risky, but the ball passed the third baseman, so when the ball passed him, I kind of automatically thought that I was going to be safe. but it was still kind of close out.
Wow. So, but bottom line, Matt, game's first run, that had to feel good.
Yeah.
Very good. So I'm going to toss it. Let you sort of toss it back to Coach Carr now. So Matt, Hammy gets across the plate. You go up 1-0. That's the third inning. So take us a little bit forward from there, Coach.
Sure. So Tate Medinger, as I mentioned, was our starting pitcher, is here with us as well. Tate throws strikes, and you heard from Pokey the other day saying pitch to contact. And that's exactly what Tate was doing yesterday. We told him before he took the mound, trust your defense. And yesterday our defense was as good as it has been all season long. So I think Tate was feeling confident being able to throw his changeup, his curveball, his fastball, knowing that if they made contact, his defense was going to have his back out there. So we head to the bottom of the fourth. Ironton does get a runner on. It was actually the cleanup hitter, the 5-hole hitter, left-handed, comes up, and he too on a 3-2 count. He got a hold of a good one, and it made its way all the way to the right field fence. So they have plated one run, and their coaches, unlike me, they were waving their runner on, unlike me holding Hammy up, and he made the decision to go, which again, he made me look good. And we practice this all the time, Chuck. Every single practice, we practice our relays and our cutoffs from the outfield. Brady Carr threw it from the fence to our second baseman, Zach Nastico, who caught it glove side, turned, and made a great throw to Braden, who'd be our catcher. Their runner was sliding in as Braden caught it, and arguably the best defensive play of the game, because that would have given them a 2-1 lead, which certainly changes the mojo and the emotions for the players and the coaches on the field. But called out at home on a great defensive play, and that got us then to the top of the fifth inning.
Well, let me have you toss it over to Tate, who was doing the pitching for you at that time. And so Tate, you're sitting there right now. Welcome as well to the show, to today's edition. Tell me a little bit about, Coach Carr said you were mixing it up pretty good and pitching to contact. You tell me what was happening out there on the mound for you, and especially run me back through that play as well where your defense comes through and cuts off that go-ahead run. Tell me, Tate, what were you thinking?
Yeah, so my curveball was working really well and getting the batters off balance, and when I could mix in fastballs, it would get them all screwed up, and they didn't know what was happening. And yes, when the 5-hole hitter, when he laced the ball down the right field line, I had threw a curveball and he got a hold of it. But when Brady Carr, BC, when he threw it to Zach, I knew we had him out at home. And when Zach threw it to Braden, the catcher, he had a nice tag and we got him out.
That's a fist pump, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. That had to feel good to know that you're still okay. We're 1-1. We just keep going from there. So sounds like for you out there on the hill during the day, it was really the curveball more than anything else, and setting up to get them off balance with the fastball following those curveballs. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now, how many innings did you end up pitching?
All 7.
Oh, wow. So the complete game. That's outstanding. So how does it feel to be that guy on the mound in that state championship game? How did that feel for you?
It felt awesome. I was happy that coach chose me to pitch the state championship game, and I was really happy.
I'm thinking, so, you're way ahead of me, because when I was 13 years old, I don't think I'm going out there without a whole lot of butterflies. And I know it sounded like you had some pretty good confidence when you took the mound. Would you say that's accurate, or?
Yes, I had a lot of confidence. I had a feeling we could get by that game and win and head on to Iowa.
That's wonderful. So, and now I'm going to listen. Thank you for sharing that piece of the story, Tate. Congratulations to you on an outstanding outing and a great win for you and your teammates. I'm going to have you toss it back to Coach Carr to take us forward from that fifth inning through the end of the game.
Yeah, Chuck, and Tate, I've nicknamed him, but he's truly a bulldog on a mound. He had no fear, and you knew the background story with the personal relationships with the Medinger family and the Ironton team. I mean, Tate knows virtually every kid on that roster. So there was some nervousness from a coaching perspective on, man, he's throwing to his buddies. But every time we have given Tate the ball this season, he has just competed his heart out, and he did it yesterday for his teammates. I couldn't be more proud of him. As he said, he threw a complete game. Only he gave up 5 hits. Just a great performance.
How about the strikeouts? Did he get a couple of Ks in there?
He did. He had two strikeouts on the day as well. But again, pitching to contact. The job that the left side of our infield with Pokey Krause at third and Hammy at short, Zach Nastico at second, Charlie Rigby made the final out at first base. And then our outfielders flew around as well. And Braden Hoobie is just a rock behind the dish. The defense was fantastic yesterday.
Well, we talked about, Matt Hammy Hamilton, bringing home that first run of the game for you. So there's 2 more runs that you scored to make it the 3-1 was the final tally for the state championship game. And for those state champion Loveland Little League 13U team. So tell me where those runs come from. And, of course, I don't want to leave out BC Carr because he started that play, making that throw to the second baseman on the, getting the cutoff man and that relay throw to get the guy at the plate. So we're going to talk to BC too. But where do those other...
You're going to be able to talk to him on these next 2 runs here in a second, Chuck.
Okay, good.
So
fill me in.
We went to the top of the 5th, and again, facing Ironton's pitcher, who was just an incredible fastball, a great curveball. We asked the guys to make some adjustments at the plate. Let's make contact. Let's make their defense play how our defense has been playing. And Grayson Wagner came to the plate, and he has done a phenomenal job this season making adjustments. I think he was at a 3-2 count, and he hit a hard ground ball to the second baseman, which was very difficult for him to field. Wags hustled it out and got us on base. Brady Smith then was our next batter. Brady unfortunately got hit by a pitch in our first tournament game. It made it hard for him to grip the bat. So we had asked him if he had ever bunted before. And he told us that yes, he had bunted before, but never in a game. So that was a high level of confidence conversation we had there. But I say that in the second game of the tournament against Ironton, he dropped a bunt down the third base line. We had a squeeze play on that was perfectly executed. So he had some confidence coming to the plate. So Brady Smith dropped another beautiful bunt down, was able to get Grayson to second, Brady to first base. Grayson eventually stole third, and Brady did as well on the throw down to third. So we've got runners on second and third, and Brady Carr is up to bat. I wanted to play some small ball at that point because Brady has been a very consistent bunter for us. And with the wheels that we had on base, I was just looking for one more run at this point, Chuck. Every run was going to be critical. So Brady squared up the bunt on the first pitch. It was outside, but it was called a strike. He didn't get the bat back. So I, at that point, took the bunt off, and he knew the sign that, hey, it's your call now, kid. And on the very next pitch, he hits a line drive shot down the third base line. Say that the runners could have walked in, but we don't play the game that way. Wags hustled his tail across home plate, and there was no stopping Brady Smith from second from him crossing. So it was a stand-up double for BC on a throw that they kind of threw it around a little bit. Brady got to third. So those were our second and third runs, which ended up and turned out to be the final key game-winning runs for us.
And those came in the 6th inning.
No, those came in the top of the 5th.
Oh, top of the 5th. Okay, I'll make sure I get that right, for goodness sake. Well, so you're probably a little spoiler alert there. You gave away BC's at bat, but I want BC to chime in right now. So you tell me, BC, and again, welcome once again joining us on Loveland Beacon Talks, BC Carr. A couple of things, man. You make that outstanding play coming up with a strong throw from right field that ends up cutting off what could have been the go-ahead run. Tell me about that first, BC.
I got a bad jump at first because I thought it went foul, but then when I realized it was fair, I hustled and got the ball, and I just stayed calm to make a good throw. And I trusted Zach to make a good throw to the catcher.
So, when that play comes to an end, after you've made the throw to Zach, and he turns that thing over to Hoobie at home, I mean, you're standing there watching that happen. How does that feel to see that out call at the plate?
I was really relieved because if they got a 2-1 lead, they'd have more momentum than us.
Yeah. So anyway, nonetheless, so you helped keep it a 1-1 ball game. And then, boom, in the fifth inning, you come up with 2 runners in scoring position. And first thing I'm going to ask you is because, you get that bunt sign. So how are you feeling about getting the bunt sign? You can be honest here.
I felt confident because I felt like I could get a bunt down, but it just didn't work out.
Fair enough. So you go. So now I don't remember. Was that a called strike when you pulled the bat back, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're down, no balls and a strike. The bunt sign is off, and now you just get to be a hitter. So take us through the rest of that for us.
I just tried to get the ball in play because there's only 1 out, I think, and I just got a hold of it and put it down the line, and then I let the runners do their thing and score.
Wow, so that's pretty special, and then I guess from Coach Carr's description, or stand up double, and then I guess they made a little errant throw, and so you end up on third base at the end of that.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing when you're standing on third base and your 2 teammates had crossed the plate ahead of you, there's a little fist pump there. Outstanding. Well, hey, BC, again, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else for you that stands out in the game overall, and about what now calling yourself state champions? That's huge.
Tate's pitching really helped us win that game.
Sounds great. And how about Hammy? Are you still with us, Hammy?
Yeah.
How about you? What stands out for you from the game?
As BC said, Tate's pitching was really good too. I had a pretty good defense, I thought, myself.
Outstanding. So, and how does it feel to hear that state champions?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I would guess. That's going to be a long memory, my friend.
I think it's better than pretty good, Chuck. He's smiling from ear to ear right now with these 3 things. I think it's feeling better than pretty good. I think it's pretty awesome that take the word out of their mouths.
Listen, I appreciate their humility. They're fine young men, I can tell just talking to them. And Tate, I'm going to ask you the same question. Obviously your teammates think very strongly of the performance that came from you for 7 innings on the mound. But anything from that game that stands out as a memory for you?
I think it was just the defense I had behind me. They were playing lockdown defense, and I couldn't ask for anything better.
Perfect. And, of course, that last question, now that you've heard it, state champion, so how does that feel for you?
It sounds great. I'm happy to be one.
Okay. Well, hey, again, Tate and Hammy and BC, and I guess I can call you Bulldog, huh, Tate?
Yeah.
So all right. Well, Bulldog, Hammy, and BC Carr, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again. Trust me, the community of Loveland is so excited for you. And I told Coach Carr, and I don't know if he shared this with you, but I did a quick little headline story, which I posted after you won the game yesterday, before we got a chance to talk. And I shared that out on the Loveland Beacon Facebook page, as well as my own social media page. And lo and behold, late last night, I get a notification that ESPN commented on the post. So you guys are already, ESPN's already aware of this Loveland team. So, keep having fun out there, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, hey, Coach Carr, back to you now. So we kind of got the game recap, the championship, and I want to call you, Coach, a state championship coach, so you can hear it from somebody else besides your assistant coaches and your players. But congratulations on that state championship.
Well, Chuck, thank you. And the final out of the game, a pop-up caught by first baseman Charlie Rigby, the runner that was on first. was stealing. So it was a double play to end the game. And when Chris and Mike turned to me in the dugout, the comment was, "That's it. It's over. We're state champs." And to watch the celebration of these kids on the field is a memory that I will never ever forget. It's the greatest memory I've had being a dad. It's besides the birth of my children, of course, but as being related with sports, it's arguably the greatest moment that I've witnessed. And for Brady BC to jump in my arms during that celebration was also pretty special. It was a really awesome day, and now we've got a quick turnaround. We are off to Iowa. We plan to leave on Friday, and our first game is Sunday at 2:30 Central Time against the Wisconsin State Champs. So we've got about another 24 hours to celebrate the state championship before we get into Central Region preparation when we head out to Iowa.
And let me make sure, because I made a mistake. I don't know what happened to me. I got way ahead of you guys. I had you headed to California, and of course, obviously, I forgot about the region. I just took you from state to the national thing in a hurry. But so again, Sunday in Iowa for the Central Region, and then that's 2:30 Central Time, which is 3:30 our time here for the folks listening in. But moving forward a little bit, obviously you're going to Iowa. You'll play that game Sunday. If you have the same kind of success that you're having, you guys keep having fun out there, and we're wishing you the best. What is that? That's the thing that would then take you to the national, international championship in California. Is that correct? And I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah, that is correct. So there are 5 regions in the United States. There are 5 regions outside of the United States. The winners of each of those regions will compete for the 50-70 Intermediate Little League World Series Championship in Livermore, California. That would be the last week of July into early August. But Iowa comes first.
Yeah. Well, so do you know anything about your potential opponents, or what's coming up in Iowa for you?
We don't, Chuck. What we know is just based on historical performances on how different states have done at different age groups. West Side Little League here out of District 9 in Cincinnati has been a perennial power coming out of the Great Lakes region, and they've battled Indiana, Kentucky, and Michigan over the years. They've been tough competition. They've changed the boundaries in intermediate, so we potentially could see a Michigan and Indiana that we know a little bit about, but the teams further west, we don't know a whole lot about them. So this is new for us, and we're going to put our best lineup forward. And as you continue to remind us, and I continue to tell these kids, let's just go out and have fun. And I can promise you we're going to do that out in Iowa.
Well, we here in Loveland are with you guys all the way, and we're just having as much fun as you are. So keep having fun so we can keep having fun, too, right along with you. And
thank you.
Coach Carr, listen, thank you again for joining us and for bringing Bulldog and Hammy and BC on with you today. Really appreciate the kids getting to share their experience with our listeners, and we are looking forward to talking to you after that first game out in Iowa. So if you're up for that, we'd love to have you back again.
Well, Chuck, I can't thank you enough for sharing our story with the Loveland community. It's meant a tremendous amount to us, and the number of text messages and emails that I've received in the last 24 hours is humbling, with the kind words, compliments for these kids and what they've accomplished. So thank you